it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here,
Oh, so you've...
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances...
I mean, where I work, it's really up to me. Callus did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rasula from the ground up, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy, but... Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two
yes. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case...
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that... If you want to go through the original files from your father's case...
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually...
Of course. Without them, I couldn't... Why do you ask? We definitely can't...
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a... So, if you, hypothetically, wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get...
Then you think too highly of my ability. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef... Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Sure.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've...
Oh, you were at the Opera House?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. I also witnessed your marvelous sleuth to beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right?
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but...
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamax. And there was also an attack. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right...
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dear. But rest assured, Navia. Poisson, if anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the confrérie of...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catch. The confrérie was responsible for that banquet. So I was out, then I heard the sound of a gunshot. And the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need more. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to...
Yep. We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough,
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the guy.
According to Jacques' family members, he already If I had to...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective? Makes sense. But without besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex, it's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after...
Do you think he knew, even...
Given everything that's happened, but who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? My father did, and with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his... Florent? It is true that he was closest, but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly...
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to... Thierry, you say? Huh. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple... If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when...
Who could it be? You know, if you think everything...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed...
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trust. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there, we need far more solid proof before...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking...
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trial?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that...
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial...
Wait, how? None of our
That's what I thought was strange about it. So, if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guard...
Right. Because they'll think that...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot...
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just since this is a trial, you're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence.
We'll help you.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver.
We heard that you'll... It's our hope that...
Thank you.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is... Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't... You're right. An important place like this is bound to have... Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for a...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right? In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the—
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I'm—
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant— In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got—
Huh? What's going on? Why is she
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjection.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to— And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default.
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is— Something— Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's—
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the—
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney.
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived,
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect—
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience—
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my—
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the court. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance Jacques lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the suspect did not dispute this conclusion. and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by me. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained... The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had the... However, in the end, he reconsidered. And instead, unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. Was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were, but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were... Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been...
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, 1, do you have the evidence to back...
I'm afraid... I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the... we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider that...
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved...
I've thought about this too. And the answer is actually the dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true... My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth, what was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next...
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect... Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand... But by staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clorand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clorand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Into the wind. Now disappear. The wind knows me. And voila!
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy... go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
No time to...
Don't be scared!
Into the wind. Now disappear! wind knows me. Step right up. One with nature.
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
Time to go. Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call. The wind knows me. Riptide. Into the wind.
I could get used to this.
After all that, we finally made it, though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all the... Huh? You mean the girls from the cereal disappeared and then they were and all the boxes of things, these names. Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient! If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the pure stuff can dissolve a human! Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence. Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the... Mixing in progress. Ready to... Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of... Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's... How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter of... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people... In any case... We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the... Sure thing. Nothing at all! And Paimon can't even find snacks either! Whoa, really? Let Paimon see! Venier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary! Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling... So many! A whole page's worth! But they're all the final name she decided on, Marcel... Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Venier's grown son? Hey!
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say that.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence, I expect... But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vache.
Huh?
We We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity, and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also... Well, Marcel, do you know where you... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next...
Do you really think I wanted to do any of... Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the Venier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, but I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed callous still... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by him.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Venier. Venier, please, Venier. Don't think badly.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review in some... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Venier. During an underwater expedition, Venier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria and began to manufacture and market. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president, Callus. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial. The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charge. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal, guilty.
Guards! Take the shade.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearing.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Yeah. It's finally over. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right?
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearance. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. We now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal, guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the oratrice might have just convicted him on general...
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal is, by law, the final verdict of the court. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Neuvillette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the... All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there.
What does Lady Verena mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an Don't tell me. You thought even I...
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had...
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of everything he's done. Not to mention the danger he poses. All shall be revealed in time. You will... Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for the...
So she chose to make her escape.
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the... However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity.
All right. Even though we've... After all, he's done plenty of...
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing?
Stop resisting arrest! See?
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could... The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last...
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to...
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done it...
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs? Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to...
Thank you.
No time to lose.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing.
Vache.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me! It's...
Vache?
I'm here! Where are you, Vinier?
Hey, wait! Be careful!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't you? You look a lot...
It's been more than 20 years. All this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has... I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like... Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how...
But Vache... if you ask me. If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no longer... I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignier.
Why? But then... Where is Vignier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said, but did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? You are a liar, a heartless murderer. The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred.
No! Vignier!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from... But on top of that, she also said that because... She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey,
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with, and...
Sounds like you're really enjoying...
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we... This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people...
So his name's definitely...
It's been the dearest...
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the well, maybe it...
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula. I believe the story was called... To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive
Oh yeah, she told us about that.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the...
Now that's
Oh, and in other...
Oh, are you two on better...
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clorinde gave testimony on my father. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean...
Oh, that's great! Paimon also thought Clorinde wasn't actually a bad person.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved... Oh, actually...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave. And tell him the... And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Sure thing.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off.
Yeah, you're right. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respect.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that...
In that case, I will stop.
You really could use some pointers on understanding in any case.
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over. There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful... I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more but Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people. And in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epicles indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your...
So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not...
Didn't I just say you do...
Ah, so Navia and Nervalette, see? Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But, oh no. Paimon hopes... Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can...
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay?
We ran into Navia on this...
I see.
Well, it...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would...
So, at court, the backup...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater, most of Teyvat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the... What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a
Huh. So that's how it is.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this. Is there anything... That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her... Does that appropriately summarize the...
That's right! It would...
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the lack...
A prophecy? Of the four...
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this...
But with Farina being the way she is...
Is there anything else? My apologies. My investigation. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not...
But you are...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically... As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lenny told us...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she... While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we...
If you ask Paimon, the only competent...
Is there anything... Your sibling? Another blonde-haired... If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed... Is there anything... Very well. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Ne...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.